787.
787 departure frequency 95 will be 1257.
257, thanks.
Turn on, tune in, and drop out. Welcome back to the SciFi And Friends podcast. I apologize for the extended hiatus. I got called out to California for a week for a wedding, and I was going to get a podcast in with Casey right before we left, but with the addition of the summer microbiology class and the additional days at Red Oak, it just collapsed on me, and I wasn't able to do it, and then everything just took off from there. But microbiology is taken care of. The Red Oak schedule is all back to normal. So hopefully we can keep these podcasts a little more consistent. And with consistency, I have decided that every Monday and Tuesday I will produce and push out a podcast with or without a guest. I'll really try to get guests on, as many guests as I can. But the way that I do these podcasts is I kind of take over the dining room table. I take over Kelsey's farmhouse table, and so I can't keep everything up for a long period of time. So if I record one Monday, record one Tuesday, then the rest of the week can be, the dining room table can be used for dining options. So apologize about that, but look forward. Every Monday, every Tuesday, we will have a podcast produced. So you'll have at least 2 a week you can listen to. School starting in a week, so hopefully we can get some of those professors on. Genetics professors, we have art professor I've been talking to, the microbiology professor. So hopefully we can get some of those guys on. They're pretty fascinating. And I don't know why I wrote this down, but the drone is insured. I'm pretty excited about that. So now I can fly like a madman into trees and semis and everything else, and it's totally covered. So anyway, that's the update. SciFi And Friends podcast is produced and brought to you by Infinite Productions. Go to coltoncipher.com, check out our website, our gallery blog. Still working on a lot of stuff, but it's coming together. It's looking good. Co-produced with Curious Fox. That's Kelsey's design company, so go check out curiousfox.com. That website's up. Give her a shout. Do logos, websites, all that good stuff. All right. My guest today, good friend of mine, mentor, the man, the myth, the legend, master of reality, BOD, Emperor himself. Please welcome Christopher LaTurner.
Thank you, Colton. That's
Thanks for
exaggerative of you to call me all that, but yeah, I'm here with you.
It's all truth.
Thank you.
So thanks for coming on, man. Taking the time.
To be here.
See, last time we did it, the podcast, it was actually called the Bodcast, and we had an impromptu guest. Mm-hmm. Debbie showed up, so we had a four-way microphone thing going on.
Yeah, passing the mic around. Now you've gone more high tech.
Yep, I've got the stands and everything, so it should sound quite a bit better.
I hope so.
I hope so as well.
I made a few enemies with that podcast.
Yeah, you had some guy from Michigan.
We don't
Florida.
Yeah.
I don't know where you're from. Yeah, I was just glad that he listened to the whole podcast.
At least affected somebody.
Yeah, at least somebody was touched by it.
Yeah.
That was that was a little bit over a year ago.
Yeah, I really didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
I don't think he meant to.
I don't think so.
I think we were just telling stories and
aimed toward anyone in particular.
No. It's just a thing that happened, and we were discussing.
Yeah.
Anyway, so welcome to the podcast.
Thanks.
What have you been up to? We've been working.
Working.
You've been jackpotting?
No.
No. None of that.
I win money, but I put it back in. But I've kind of put it to the wayside.
Yeah.
I have an addictive personality to begin with, so it doesn't matter. I can never win enough. But I do win a lot.
It's fun, though.
Yeah. Oh,
Ruby gambles, doesn't she?
Well, she has, but she hasn't been since she it doesn't get around very well. She didn't walk very well, so she fell in the casino. It embarrassed her, so she doesn't want to go back.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah.
Now she needs to invest in one of those high-tech wheelchairs.
She's not about to get in a wheelchair.
One of the... Yeah, she
She
probably
would crawl on the floor first.
Yeah. Yeah.
She gets around pretty well.
Yeah, she's good. She comes into Red Oak every once in a while.
Only a couple of times.
She drank?
No.
No.
Well,
Did she ever?
My mother might have a margarita or something once or twice a year.
But not anymore.
None of my family has an addictive personality.
Except you?
Except me.
Why is that?
I don't know. It's the way the gene pool rolls.
Did anybody else move away of your family?
No.
No, they all stayed around here?
Yeah.
Because then you went to Vegas?
Reno.
Reno.
First.
And then worked there for?
A few years. Worked my way down south and ended up in Phoenix.
When did you go to Vegas?
In between.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 80s and 90s. And Laughlin. I was in Laughlin in the late 80s and the late 90s. And Las Vegas from 90 to about 97, I think.
And that's... Laughlin's still a place you tend to visit every once in a while.
Yeah, I get flights out there.
Yeah?
Direct from Joplin. It's
Are
kind of
you...
fun.
Oh, really? Direct?
Yeah.
They send a plane for you?
Yeah. Well, not just for me.
Yeah.
It's a junket flight. The same group of us go. Some of the same people that I see where I work now go.
Like, is that the only flight to Laughlin? It's just Laughlin and back?
It's a direct flight. Yeah. The casino pays for that plane, which is out of Minnesota, which is where Don Laughlin is from.
Don Laughlin, like
Is from Minnesota.
Like he owns Laughlin.
Lofton. He's the one is the founder of Laughlin.
Like Don Joplin. Like if there's a Don Joplin, he owns
he
Joplin.
Is Laughlin.
Oh my God. Well, how long has it been around?
It wasn't incorporated until 1989.
Oh my gosh, that's a good year.
It went from about a town of 5,000 to well over 100,000 people in that valley.
Because of the casinos?
The casinos, yeah. They had an electric plant.
Oh, really?
And he owned a small motel, and the electric people, and it had slots there. Actually, he had them in Minnesota, and he was like 16, and the principal of the school told him that if he had the slots, that he'd have to quit school. So he'd have to give up the slots, and he did the math, and he was making 5 times as much as the principal, and quit school.
He as a student.
As a student, he quit school to have slots in Minnesota, according to his story. And he ended up going to North Las Vegas and then found Laughlin. And he, his mother, and his wife created this thing where there was no casinos, and now there's 14 large ones.
Really?
Very nice on the Colorado River.
And what else can you do out there? Are there can you get into Colorado River?
Oh, yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's crystal clear.
Oh, wow.
It's the end of Grand Canyon, so you drop down.
Oh, man.
You drop down in elevation several thousand feet from Kingman, which is actually only like 25 miles away, but I think you dropped 2,800 feet.
It's not on Highway 40, is it? It's kind of off Highway 40.
Well, Highway 40 has Needles, and Needles is
That's
actually
right.
part of Bullhead City now. They've all grown together.
Needles is California. It's just right there on the border.
Yes, Needles, California.
So I've taken that route many times.
Yeah, Needles, California. And you're just a few miles from Laughlin and Nevada and Bullhead City, Arizona.
I always like those stories, those anti-establishment, anti-educational, I'll make my own path type stories.
Oh, he had that story.
Oh, God.
Is one.
I will quit school because I have slot machines, and I'm already making 5 times as much as you are. Why should I take advice from you?
I dare to guess what he's worth now.
Oh, God. He's got a 14 casino town named after him, Just imagine.
He built the bridge that crossed the Colorado from Arizona to Nevada himself, then sold it to the States.
How old is he? Is he still around?
Probably 80-something.
80-something. Do you know Dan and Ann that come in from Springfield?
No.
Oh yeah, they come to Red Oak. Their name is Dan and Ann, and they own like a burger joint in Springfield.
I don't.
Anyway, a really cool couple, and Jake and I have become pretty friendly with them. But they were in last night, and I mentioned that on August 20th I was going to go to the Bass Pro hunting seminars with my dad, and was going to see if I could come by their restaurant and see it and get something to eat and say hi, and they were pretty plastered. So the moment I said Bass Pro, they started talking about Jim Morris. I think it's Jim Morrison. Does that sound right? Sounds like a rock star.
Yeah, it does.
Something Morrison. Bonnie Morrison. That sounds like another rock star. I don't know, but I think the Morrison is the last name of the people that own Bass Pro. And they were saying how they come in and eat. But this girl, the wife of the man that owns Bass Pro, I guess, has an art shop across the street from the restaurant. And I guess she dresses in just normal clothes, just an extremely normal chick, yet she's a billionaire. And they were saying how cool she is. Let's see if I can find it. John Morris. So it's Miss Morris. I don't remember her name. But yeah, started Bass Pro. And now it's a multi-billion-dollar industry company, flagship of the outdoor world.
He started in the back of a Brown Derby liquor store.
Yep.
Is that what?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
truth?
Yeah.
Is that what I just heard?
Yeah, I think, we're on the Wikipedia page.
Yeah, they have a lot of Brown Derbies in Springfield. Liquor
Brown
stores.
Derby. Yep. But it was a small fishing bait shop. So he had bait and the tackle, and the alcohol. So he had everything you needed for going fishing.
He's a capitalist. Isn't
Oh, well, absolutely. And this one in Memphis, this Bass Pro Shop in Memphis, Jacob Fry and I went there.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, we went there for one of my best friend's weddings, and on the way back we stopped, and it's interesting. It's more flash than an actual hunting store. It's more of like a monument. It's more of like an amusement park rather than like an actual hunting enthusiast type thing. I mean, my dad always says it best. Even when you're in Bass Pro, you'd rather be in the woods. It's a great place to shop. It's an awesome place. It gets you pumped, but there's nothing like being in the woods. So, or climbing a rock, or shooting a bow, or whatever you're going to be doing while you're at Bass Pro or Cabela's or whatever, all those sorts of outdoor shops. It doesn't replace actually doing what you want to be doing.
That's crossed my mind on the way here. That's what I was thinking about was my grandma, Corey, my great-grandmother, during the Depression raised 10 kids on the river off the fat of the land.
Oh, wow.
And she's taught me how to skin squirrel and rabbit and gut fish and slaughter dogs and things like that. We pick poke greens and mushrooms, and I've been thinking about, could I go off the grid if I needed to, or if I wanted to, or maybe I want to, and just I'm scared to because it's too convenient to live like this.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, maybe if you did small changes, got some solar panels and started there, and then there goes your electricity bill, and then suddenly, I don't know, buy a cow, and then there's your meat for 1 year, after you butcher.
Yeah, we call it hamburger.
Yeah, hamburger steak.
Yeah, somebody told me yesterday they had a cow and they called it hamburger. Go feed hamburger.
Kind of cruel.
I know. It was just yesterday.
And you could also I've heard people, maybe like Amish type folk, raise rabbits, because rabbits reproduce very quickly, and there's quite a decent little meat on them, like rabbit stew, rodent stew. You can always garden. Would you be opposed to doing like a hydroponic setup?
Well, then you would need the power source.
So you have to you'd have to kind of strategically build and slowly change. You can't just cold turkey back into the wilderness. I mean, you could, but
I don't think so.
It'd be hard.
No, I don't think I could at all. I mean, what would I do without a cell phone and Facebook and Snapchat and all those things?
You sound like Cheyenne.
Huh?
You sound like Cheyenne.
Well, I did bring her up.
Yeah, I mean,
poor girl. She's a hot mess.
We love you. We love you, Cheyenne. To exist in this society, I mean, you got to have, I don't know if you have to have a Facebook, but it definitely helps. I communicate on Facebook quite a bit, whether it's, business type or just, normal conversation back and forth.
Yeah,
over.
that's the only way I can keep up with my family. It's pretty big. It's a lot easier.
Yeah, that's what my grandma was just telling me the other day. She, thank God for Facebook because now she knows what every grandchild is up to. I post things about school. Casey posts things about camping. My other cousins, they post things about their kids, and grandma's all caught up.
Yeah, she might find out more than she wants to know.
She might, yeah. Sometimes you post and you forget that grandma's following your post, and she doesn't have that many friends, so you come up quite a bit on her on her feed. That's why I keep Facebook pretty decent, and Twitter is my kind of let loose.
I'm not on Twitter.
Yeah, I like it.
It's
information spreads quicker on Twitter.
It does.
Because you have access. Because if you tweet something with a hashtag, then someone can search that word out on Twitter, and then if they retweet you, then say they have 1,000 followers, now your tweets is being seen by 1,000 people, and then say one of those people retweets, now it's 10,000. So it's kind of like a information spread in an exponential type of way. Granted, Facebook's more personal, yeah. The people that you actually know are Facebook. Twitter could be someone from Saudi Arabia, some from New Zealand, all over the place, Ukraine, and you're kind of retweeting and tweeting back and forth between these people. So it's a little more international type.
What kind of coffee have you served me? It's really good.
Oh, this is I roasted this myself. This is either the Zimbabwe or the Colombian. I can't quite remember. I kind of lost track. I was roasting so much there for a while.
Nothing like podcasts with good coffee.
I know. In fact, our last podcast was all about coffee when Matthew came on. I was spending some time with him in the warehouse.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, he told me to stop by there sometime.
Oh, you really should.
Yeah.
It's fascinating.
Well, let's go together.
Oh, okay. We could.
Make it a plan before work sometime.
Okay. We could do that.
Yeah.
He likes to do tastings.
Yeah.
So he'll do like 10 different coffees, 10 different ways.
Yeah.
And then you get like a spoon and you slurp it and, you make notes on it. It's really fun. But you will get strung out on caffeine if you don't spit. Like wine, like sommelier type things. If you don't spit, you're gonna get drunk.
Yeah. Yeah. The coffee I did have that they're going to make, and it's delicious.
The canoe blend?
I don't know the kind that we're going to serve.
I think it's based off one that's called Canoe, I think. It's been a while since I've talked to...
but it's good.
Talk about living off the land. Downstream does a pretty good job with their cattle and the greenhouses and now their own coffee. I mean, we don't grow the coffee, but we do roast it.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good.
And I think they're going to do more and more of that. I'm glad to see and hear that. At least you know what the beef has been through,
right.
And they use ladybugs as the only pesticide
in the greenhouses.
That's
really cool. That's really cool. Have you been out there?
Yeah,
I need to go out there.
Yeah, it's awesome. They're incredible.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great and good ideas. Whoever thought of that was pretty ingenious.
Yeah, and they actually have the resources and the money and the manpower to pull something off like that.
Yeah.
I mean, every day we drive to work, we look at the beef that we're selling. It's right there. It's alive and well.
And maybe the buffalo someday.
And sometimes the buffalo, yeah.
We don't know.
I really, really want to fly my drone over the buffalo herd.
Oh, you do?
I really want to.
With the camera?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, that would be nice.
I know. I think I'm going to do it. But Kelsey mentioned something about maybe getting shot out of the sky by some cowboys. Yeah, I don't know. Because do you remember the incident that they had where somebody shot their
bull?
Yeah. So and I think they have cameras out there. But
I know.
I could sit at Tennessee Prairie and fly the drone over, and I don't think they'd ever see it.
Well, I don't know. You could also maybe ask for permission.
Yeah. I always tell myself I'm going to ask John Barry when I wait on him, like, hey, I got a great idea for a movie. I just need some funding. But
he might even want you to fly the drone over.
Yeah, he might.
They do interesting things, the buffalo do, from what I see. I see them do some really interesting moves.
Such as?
Little dance moves and stuff. They have not really dance moves, but they...
Little shuffles.
When they get itches. When they get a scratch, they itch it with some type of strange movement.
Yeah, maybe that's where all the Native Americans got their sort of dance rituals, and there's a buffalo dance with the Lakota. What do you think about that kind of stuff? Do you think that physical movement can influence like these spiritual realms?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Mm-hmm. Don't you think?
I think so.
Oh, I've been to the Gathering of the Nations in Albuquerque, where all the tribes meet in April every year. Every tribe from all over America, and they all have their different dances. Some of them are jingle dances. They have the jingle dresses. Some of them have, and the drum rolls, and it's pretty fascinating to see them all together. Mm-hmm. And they all have their own different prayers and belief systems and food and
rituals and
it's all and pretty much. So a lot of them are educated now, and they are. I mean, with nice degrees in financing and medicine and stuff like that, and they're going back into the tribes and into the reservations and making them healthier, more prosperous. Maybe too much Americanized.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they've done a really good job with the casinos, with the resource of the casinos. I mean, some of them have. Some of them go bankrupt and whatnot. But such as Downstream, who, makes a pretty penny, and then they invest it into these pretty interesting and self-sustaining type systems. Yeah,
it'd be nice to be one of the Navajos down at the bottom of Grand Canyon.
Oh, yeah.
Who just lives down there and never come out.
Oh, yeah.
They do live down there in there.
How do they live, like native?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's their own reservation. No, hardly anybody goes down there.
Just because it's rugged or because they're down there?
It's way down there.
Oh.
It's in the bottom of Grand Canyon.
Oh, wow. Have you ever floated Grand Canyon?
Never.
I've always wanted to do that.
That would be quite a task. Then you'd have to have a lot of preparation, and you'd have to go with a couple people you trust, because the rafts get pretty rough.
Yeah, some sort of guide.
Yeah, you need to know the time of year to go and things like that.
Not
the
after all
coral
this.
snakes breed.
Ooh.
At
Really?
a certain time, yeah.
Oh, God.
You need to stay away from them when they're doing that.
In the spring, or?
I believe so. It's either before the cold or after the cold.
Oh, good.
But it's not in between.
You got to remember, red touches black, you're okay, Jack. Red touches yellow, you're a dead fellow. I'll always remember that.
Just takes a minute.
Beer before liquor, you've never been sicker.
Yeah. That's why they use mules to go down the trails, because they can sense those things.
Really?
A horse can't.
How so?
That's why mules are so stubborn. It's because they're actually very smart.
And they can they get bit and be okay? Like, do they have some sort of?
I don't know about that.
I mean, that's how antivenom is made. Is they take the venom from a snake and inject it into a horse.
Yeah.
And then the horse makes antibodies, and they secrete. They rip out the antibodies and then give it to you.
Did you ever? This is kind of rambling, but did you ever hear the story of the preacher who handled snakes? And if he would have divorced his wife, he wouldn't have had the job as a preacher in the church. So he put her in the barn so she'd get bit by all these snakes. And he was really, really drunk and passed out, I guess. And they bit her, and she had such an immune system to it that she lived through it. Anyway, he's in prison for some type of...
Yeah, those Pentecostals, they get a little wild with them snakes.
Do you think it's the Pentecostals?
I think so. I'm pretty sure it's the Pentecostals. Yeah, I've heard of the handling of the deadly snakes. There's a scripture that says if you truly believe, you'll be able to shut the mouths of deadly snakes.
I don't know if I'll ever have that much faith.
That's very, very humble of you. Here you go. What does the Bible say about handling snakes?
Yeah, you were Googling as podcast here.
Practiced by some... Snake handling as practiced by some misguided churches.
Misguided.
I know, man. Yeah. It's pretty savage.
I'd like to know why you changed it from podcast to podcast.
Oh, okay. I'll tell you why. Because the podcast originally started out with Casey and I both hosting. And so if you listen to any of the previous podcasts, I think it's about 1 through 7 episodes, Casey and I are both there. But then I moved to California, and we couldn't continue to do that. But I wanted to do podcasting. So I was like, okay, I'm going to make up my own podcast. And SciFi And Friends is what came about that. SciFi is my old high school nickname, Sci-Fi is what they used to call me. So I was like, okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so this came about, and I've continued to do this, and now we term podcasts that are done under the influence of certain substances as podcasts. So conversations like we're having now are good for almost most ears. Most ears can tune into this and listen and not be offended, or hopefully they're stimulated.
Yeah.
A podcast episode might just be vulgar and all over the place, and just maybe something to look back upon and regret.
Yeah.
I don't know. We have not done one. We've dubbed them as the intoxication podcast, but we have not done one.
Oh,
So
you have not?
no. So maybe one of these days.
Well, you keep talking. I'm going to try to find something.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
been on my mind all day.
No problem. What do you think of that? You've been watching the Olympics?
Well,
You watched part of it, I know.
the most I watch it, but I can't listen.
Oh, right. You're watching at the bar?
Yeah.
Okay, right.
I can see parts of it.
Right.
It's fascinating. The lights were great for the opening.
Mhm.
That's all I've got to see is the opening.
Projectors.
Yeah, but the props they used were so inexpensive.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Giselle thing is the most stunning thing I've
It
ever
was,
seen.
it was amazing.
It just reminds me, that let's see, I don't know.
I thought you had a great comment or great observation about the feminine power and how women try to imitate manliness and masculinity to gain power. Yet when Giselle walked across the
I believe
floor,
that, yeah,
It
you
was
have
one
more
of-
power
Yeah.
as a woman using your femininity than you would if you were wearing a tie. I believe so. It's as far as
I don't know how to spell Giselle. How do you spell
Gisele. I think you have to go to
Oh, there she is.
NBCsports.com in order to actually get it. I'm not sure that they will. There,
Oh, it's kind of like a rerun of everything.
yeah.
I just want to see her walk.
Well, I'll tell you where to go. NBCsports.com. You have to go there. Otherwise, you're not going to get it.
Oh, you're probably right.
Yeah.
But there she is.
She's married to Tom Brady,
She makes more than Tom Brady because she's a Victoria's Secret model, right?
She's a supermodel of some sort.
But that was her last walk, right? Correct? She's retiring
Well,
or something?
That's what she's saying.
Okay.
Who knows? 5 years from now, that the next last walk can make her a fortune.
Yeah, right. No joke.
There
Oh, there it
she
is.
goes.
Nope, there's Tommy.
Tom.
Yeah, that strut that she had was just impeccable.
Yeah. Oh, she's from Brazil,
She is?
She's actually very stunning.
Oh, she is a stunning woman.
Oh, it's just amazing how you can multitask with this.
How do you say her last name? Giselle.
Bunchen, I think.
Bunchen.
I think so.
Giselle Bunchen.
Yeah.
Well, I forgot I was going to look up about her, but Portuguese, no, German? As a Brazilian fashion model, actress, and producer.
She's Brazilian.
Mm-hmm.
Which is where she was.
Oh, I know. I want to know how tall she is. How tall do you think she is? I bet she's
I bet she's 6'1".
Yeah. 6'1", at least 6'1". She's 5'11".
Oh yeah.
But she looks really tall.
Well, she had some stilettos on.
She must have.
She did have. I'm thinking 5 inches.
Yeah. Man, look at that, though.
Yeah, she's not very skinny.
So the Olympics, they got off to a good start when she showed up.
Yeah.
Was there any sort of theme when she came out? She's just like...
Oh, there was a song, the lady from Ipanema or whatever.
And then she was kind of walking
Yeah.
to this song.
Yeah.
As part of the projectors were fascinating.
Isn't that crazy?
So simple, yet so complex.
Yeah.
Just tricked everyone's mind.
They say that nation is in so much poverty.
Yeah, they do.
Hopefully this will help their economy.
There's
I
a
think.
lot. Well, I mean, like, they show the city of Rio, and it's unbelievable. It looks like Chicago. It looks like
Oh,
L.A.
it's beautiful.
Yeah, it looks like a beautiful place.
Its architecture is just amazing.
Yeah, but they've gone through this upheaval of the politics. What they threw off their president or something, right?
I guess so. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, some sort of revolution went on.
Uh-huh.
Then, I mean, South America in general, especially the closer you get to the equator, is just a smorgasbord of infections and viruses and vector-borne everything. I mean, they have this big Zika problem. That's kind of been their main title lately. And how, all the Olympic athletes were supposed to, be careful of Zika and all this stuff.
Is Zika mostly in Brazil?
That's where the big epidemic is happening. Is it epidemic or endemic?
Epidemic.
I think it's epidemic.
Yeah,
I should know this.
I think so, but aren't they in Florida now or not?
Supposedly, I mean, maybe a few cases in Florida, but they probably originated in the Brazilian area. It's the same with like malaria or West Nile. There's not a lot. There could be, but it's just not
anything that
endemic to our area.
That is always has been somewhere.
Yeah,
I believe.
Oh yeah. When you ever read about the hantavirus? The hantavirus is actually in the southwest region of the United States, and it comes in these ebbs and flows, and especially in really dry summers. And this hantavirus will come about and just wipe out animals and people, and all the natives there around that southeast area, like the Navajo and all that, have all these legends about the virus as far as like a demigod or a demon spirit type thing. Come to find out, it's this hantavirus. And they take all the symptoms and signs and they match it up with scientific data, and sure enough, man, they were just purely describing the hantavirus. It's not a good thing to get.
It doesn't sound like it.
Most viruses are not that great. Fascinating stuff though, but I'm
trying to find something here on Facebook, but I don't think I get good reception out here.
Oh, what are you looking for? I could probably look it up for you.
Oh, that's my sister.
Oh.
What she posted on Facebook.
Oh, nice.
I wanted to discuss something controversial.
Okay. Something political?
Perhaps.
What's your sister's name? I'll pull it up.
Maybe I shared it. Hold on. Janet Russell.
Janet Russell. You want to set the stage for the controversy on this? State of Kansas, Galena High School?
Yeah, that's her.
Looks like my mother-in-law knows her.
Oh, your mother-in-law? Well, of course, they worked in the school district together. You can see Debbie and I are there.
Yeah, right there. Christopher LaTurner.
Okay. Keep scrolling.
Okay.
You'll see... well, I guess I missed out on a lot of things. Go back up. Maybe I missed the first 2 or 3 things.
There's, I don't know. It might not show me everything.
Oh, really?
Because I'm not friends with her.
You're not?
Did you share it? Do you think you shared it?
I don't know.
Is that your house?
No.
Oh.
There it is, right there. That's it.
Oh, no. What is this? All right. It's an article from liveactionnews.org, remembering when Mother Teresa left Hillary Clinton in stunned silence on abortion.
This is what's been on my mind. So if you scroll down 3 paragraphs down, start reading that. That's what Mother Teresa said.
Okay. But I feel that the greatest destroyer of peace today is abortion, because it is a war against the child, a direct killing of the innocent child, murder by the mother herself. And if we accept that a mother can kill even her own child, how can we tell other people not to kill one another? How do we persuade a woman not to have an abortion? As always, we must persuade her with love, and we remind ourselves that love means to be willing to give until it hurts. Jesus gave even his life to love us. So the mother who is thinking of abortion should be helped to love, that is, to give until it hurts her plans, her free time, to respect the life of her child. The father of that child, whoever he is, must also give until it hurts. By abortion, the mother does not learn to love, but kills even her own child to solve her problems. And by abortion, the father is told that he does not have to take any responsibility at all for the child he has brought into the world. That father is likely to put other women into the same trouble. So abortion just leads to more abortion. Any country that accepts abortion is not teaching its people to love, but to use any violence to get what they want. This is why the greatest destroyer of love and peace is abortion. Mother Teresa. Sounds like Mother Teresa doesn't know biological and medical terminology of the 21st century.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I get the part as far as killing a child for your own benefit in a way to free yourself of responsibility. But, early on in the pregnancy, when it's just a clump of cells, I don't think you're killing anything.
Oh, I do. You're killing a clump of cells called fetus. Which is the Latin word for baby.
Well, I always think about when a couple can't have a child and you have to go in vitro and you have, 30 test tubes of in vitro insemination, and you go, okay, well, this is the one that took. Did you just toss out 29 children because they're lab born?
Well, no, because they weren't. No, I don't even know about that.
Yeah,
I don't even know about doing that.
The way that I understand is they take the egg and the sperm in the lab in vitro or out vitro or something like that, and then inoculate, or what would the correct term be? It's not inseminate. Fertilize. They would fertilize the egg, and now you have a fertilized cell dividing zygote, or what's the first one? Zygote. Yeah, zygote, right? First it's a zygote, and then it turns into the fetus. So at that point, they would just toss out all the extras.
I don't know, because that's not a natural process. So I don't really have an educated opinion about that. Mine is only on abortion. My only solid thing.
But it'd be between, the different stages of abortion. Now, this late-term abortion, where they shove the scissors in the back of the head, or, just, I don't know what else they do. It's pretty horrific. I mean, that is straight-up bloody murder. But when you're on the microscopic level, and you're taking out and just removing, like I say, a clump of cells, or even maybe a fetus who doesn't even have the development of arms, feet, fingers, nervous system, senses, a frontal lobe, I don't believe that you're causing any harm.
A lot of people believe that.
But they're usually based in some sort of religious stance.
But I don't believe that. From a biological standpoint, from way back in time, either you're pregnant or you're not.
Well,
that's just food for thought. Just like that in vitro thing, that's food for thought. Who knows what's right or wrong? But I'm not quite sure the world would be what it is today had not Roe versus Wade been voted on.
Right. I mean, I've seen statistics on abortion, and the countries that allow abortion usually have lower crime rate. They usually have better economies, because you don't have all these unwanted births. You don't have all these unwanted children, especially back in the day, 100 years ago, 1900s, when a lot of times you just kick the kid out of the house. And now you have these kids.
Statistics on that.
Wait, I could look some up.
You go right ahead, but I still believe a country that believes that a person who can kill their own child, I believe that last sentence, that means you'll kill anything to get what you want. I believe that.
Yeah, but killing, and I do the air quotes, to killing a zygote or a young fetus versus killing a toddler or killing an elderly person is way different.
Killing is killing, isn't it?
I mean, I don't know, because I could easily dump this test tube out on the floor. This little zygote goes down the drain, dead, gone.
A test tube and an ovary are two different things.
Well, in the sense of maybe like a miscarriage, you're pregnant for a week, and then suddenly you lose this, you lose whatever you had in you. I don't think that you've lost a life. I think you've just aborted a system for creation of life.
Yeah, well, that's what makes you and I different. I don't. I think you've lost a baby at that point.
It's you did, but not a fully formed baby. Did the baby have a soul? Did the baby have a mind?
I think the baby had a soul.
So when sperm hits egg, soul. You get soul.
Soul.
Something that science cannot prove. Doesn't mean it's not real, but something we cannot test.
That's my strong belief. And I don't even know if it comes from. It comes from everything. I just believe that, and I don't believe that. I just believe that things have really. I know people who are complete atheists who believe what I said about Roe versus Wade. Our world has continually got worse. I remember when President Kennedy was killed, the world shut down. Today, if a president got killed, we just go on and on. We might stop and watch the funeral on the news, but the world would not cry and stopped like it has before.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But don't you think that's chalked up to just the different times? You know, you got Kennedy didn't have the internet. Kennedy didn't have, a rover on Mars and all that kind of stuff. And the knowledge, there was no CERN smashing atoms at half the speed of light or a hair under the speed of light. There's been so many changes and advancements. Also, the population has, tripled, quadrupled the human population since then.
In the United States, I don't know what it is.
But
it's grown.
Oh, yeah. Just show Kennedy and that time era an iPhone.
I just think we've become insensitive to a lot of things that are important.
That's probably true and could probably be chalked up to overstimulus. You have so much stimulus. Think about if you turn on the television, what do you want to watch? You can watch anything. Then granted, you can go on the internet, and the internet's even deeper and darker than any sort of TV program. That is overstimulus. You have your phone in your pocket ringing, buzzing. You got a Facebook message. You got
Whistling.
a Snapchat. Yeah.
Always.
Also, then you have jobs, and you have family members, and you have events. Think of how many events and holidays that we have to go through as 21st American citizens. And most of them are capitalistic and have some sort of you must purchase or you must do in a way. You don't have to, but a lot of them push really hard for that.
Well, it depends upon which socioeconomic group that you come from.
That's definitely true too.
If you're living in the Medicaid system, you're not a part of that. And then there's the middle class and the upper middle class and the wealthy. And the wealthy, that's pretty much what they do. Is just go from one charity event to another,
right?
To one belief system and speaking about that to another, using their influence.
Just because they're lost, they're jumping around from this ideology to this ideology just because they are a lost soul.
They're wealthy and they get paid for speaking what they believe in.
I would say the people that have the most usually seem the most lost in a lot of ways. They project this sense of accomplishment and, I'm going off mostly the people that I wait on in Red Oak, the big players, the people that have a lot of money. They just kind of seem quite empty to me.
Really?
A lot of them do. Not all. A lot of them are fully formed and ready to go and have done a lot of great things with their life and are very kind, but just some of them are completely empty and just, I'm thinking of two right now that, it almost hurts my soul when I look at them or talk to them.
That's one thing I don't like about gaming is I spend too much time away from the roles I'm supposed to play, like being a friend or a brother or a son or an employee, it just takes away from. It would be okay if I didn't do it like I've done it, but I've done it in periods of my life too much to where I just escape from it. It's just like with cigarettes. Sometimes I smoke cigarettes, and I'm on a conscious level. It keeps people away from me because nobody I know that I hang out with smokes cigarettes. So
it kind of gives you an out, literally.
Yeah, because I know that. They're not going to follow me. They're not going to follow the smoke.
Interesting.
So
that's very
on
deep.
a conscious level. I've made the decision to excuse myself and go smoke just to be by myself with that cigarette.
That's pretty deep. Very self-observing.
Same way with a slot machine. It's just me and that slot machine.
I'd say our society is riddled with those sorts of things, especially when it's in your pocket.
Yeah.
How did you come about that observation?
I don't know. I think I prayed about it, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
No, I know on a conscious level what I'm doing sometimes.
Usually it takes a pump of the brakes, whether you're meditating or praying or just, a simple, I'm going to close my eyes for 5 minutes and just kind of put this world into order. That's usually when those sorts of realizations kind of show up, when you take a second.
I look at people that I care about who share their life with other people, and I figure out that I don't share mine as much as I could with the people that care about me because of, just things I do. like smoking and gambling and
Yeah.
just sitting at my house.
Right. Just some sort of self-preservation, isolation type.
Yeah, it keeps you from getting hurt, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Yeah, it would definitely do that if you're not around anyone. But then inevitably you will hurt the people that you're not around because you're not around.
That's right.
So,
And you never let anybody know who you really are.
mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then inevitably you don't know.
I could be a recluse in my elderly age.
Mm-hmm.
Good coffee.
Thanks.
I
But
love
then,
good coffee.
oh yeah,
Coffee motivates me sometimes just to get up in the morning.
absolutely.
I love good coffee.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
Some of my best moments with my wife are over a cup of coffee.
Mm-hmm.
When I pour it over, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
I can only imagine what you really mean.
But, I think it's important for a person to take the time out of their day or out of their, schedule to reflect on those sorts of things.
Yeah, I have plenty of time to reflect because I'm alone a lot, so.
Don't take up too much time.
Yeah, but I work with the public, and I'm with the public, and I kind of entertain with the public. So sometimes sometimes I need downtime
Absolutely.
to reflect on that.
They take a lot from you when they're chit-chatting and you're listening to their stories or,
Well, actually, they
reading them.
give me a lot, to tell you the
That's
truth.
true, too.
Yeah, but on the other end of that is that there's the taken part of it. There's the life giving, and then there's the seed planters who want to take life out of you. So it all goes down to the truth.
Which is?
The truth.
The truth.
The truth is the truth. Yeah, lying, cheating, and stealing is nothing but trouble.
Right. Just basically wisdom. Old truth passed down generation for generation.
Yeah, it's better to tell the truth or not say anything at all, I think, maybe. Well, sometimes not saying anything at all is...
Not truth.
Yeah, it's not true.
Yeah.
In the church, we say, forgive us in what we have done and what we have failed to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't remember who said it, but something about World War II during the occupation and the Jewish, what do they call that? I need more coffee. Where they took all the Jews, the Holocaust, to where the greatest sins that were committed were the people that did nothing and just watched it all happen.
Perhaps, maybe.
Some quote like that.
That could be
Martin Luther King, maybe.
Do you think he thought of that?
It's probably old wisdom, but he put it in his own words, is what I would say. Mm-hmm. It's a thing that, riddles down from the beginning of the dawn of man and how many tragedies have been committed, atrocities committed by man, on man, that perhaps could have been stopped with some sort of outside influence, with a stop from someone standing by who could have said one word or done one thing.
Yeah. I think so. I hear what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I don't know if you've ever lost anybody. What is that you're doing on that computer?
No, I just wanted to kick it back over.
Please don't put any of that virtual stuff on there.
Virtual?
Whatever.
Before you leave, by the way, we
Snapchat.
We should have done the virtual. Oh, God. This is a family show. Don't bring that up.
Okay.
No, before you leave, sorry to interrupt your thought. Before you leave, you need to do the virtual reality headset before you go. After the podcast is done, we got to do it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, it's not done yet, but
we'll see what happens.
When we wrap it up. So when you were it was an addiction counselor?
Yeah. That licensed.
What sort of things did you learn from your clients? Is that what you call them? Or patients?
Well, and for myself.
And from yourself?
Some of us have addictive personalities and some don't. Other people have... everybody has something. We're all different. Mm-hmm. But there are a certain group of people, I think, that have addictive personalities. And, we think differently, and we need to rethink things and be different. Otherwise, we'll practice addictions, which are not healthy for anyone. I don't know how to explain it, really.
Makes sense.
No. our brain is stimulated by doing something that felt good, even though it had bad consequences. It doesn't matter. We still do what feels good initially, no matter what the consequences are. Whereas normal people don't do that kind of stuff. Yeah, and pretty soon it affects your who you are and the things you are, and makes you do things that you wouldn't normally do. So it changes your character and your integrity and things like that.
And that
Just
could,
like people who are addicted to power, they'll do anything for it. Or addicted to money, they'll do anything for it. Some people just are addicted to different things. So,
do you think that nations?
did you hear that, Doc?
Do you think that nations can be considered addicted?
National leaders can be.
Yeah,
Is that what you're talking about?
a human collective as a whole, as far as a national scale. The nation of America addicted to war, the nation of Africa to reap natural resource benefits at the cost of child labor and all that sort of stuff. Is that an individual? Is that based out of an individual mindset and addiction, or is that a collective where a massive group of people are engaged in this sort of behavior?
I only know about myself and about an individual addiction. And everybody has something of some sort, but not everybody is addicted.
Whether it's chemical-based or behavioral-based.
But as far as an overall governmental thing, no, I'm not quite sure about that. It was only 100 years ago that, or less that Hitler was here, and we allowed that in this world. Isn't that crazy?
100 years, yeah.
Can you believe that?
So weird.
There were no televisions, no running water, no electricity, nothing.
Yeah.
Look what we've done in 100 years.
Oh, yeah.
So, no wonder they've added diagnoses in the DSM-5 book.
How much do you agree with those sorts of diagnoses? I know a lot of people will disagree with, ADD and depression and things like that.
I think it's all based on some sort of missing the mark or sin. I think fear-based. Some of it might be chemically induced, like schizophrenia. In my case, I think that the thought process has changed the chemistry in my brain, which makes me panic because I think negatively, and have allowed that. I mean, it started early in life, and so it's a pattern of thinking that needs to be broken. But my religious beliefs are that all illnesses, as you know, we all end up, whatever we do in this life, it ends up killing us. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right. We're all destined for the same place.
Well, whatever bad habits you have is going to end up killing you if an accident doesn't. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right. I guess the
you eat
bad
a lot of fat, you're going to get cholesterol and have a heart attack. If you smoke a lot of cigarettes, you're more likely to get cancer.
Right.
Yeah. See, we die from our sins, so I think a lot of that is could be changed by behavior and thought and cognitive modifications rather than just going straight to medicine. In a lot of cases, I think that's just my belief.
Yeah, I would agree. Types of meditation,
Exactly.
Different types of exercise, such as yoga or even weightlifting and running, and then also having some sort of positive hobby, whether that's woodworking or shooting a bow or chopping wood, or I don't know what even like drinking wine. As far as if you can keep it under control, as a sommelier or something, that would be a positive thing. Drinking coffee, something that brings you joy, but that you have the opportunity to grow and better yourself from, and better your skills and that sort of thing. It's something that needs to take skills. It's the difference between playing baseball on the TV with the PlayStation versus playing baseball in the physical real world and the outside in your field. You have to be able to engage in the activity so much so that you have room to improve. Even if you're A-Rod and you're the best, badass, most baseball player of all time, there's still always room to improve. There's still weaknesses to improve on and strengths to strengthen. Always.
Sometimes I just want to quit, and you can't quit.
No.
Because you can't let anything really beat you. You got to overcome it and just be a better person. Or that's how I believe that I've been raised and brought up to be like. Sometimes I'd like to just stick my head in the sand or run away, and I don't know how to do that. I don't think.
And once you do it once, it's easier to do it again.
Yeah.
So don't even start it.
Then I'd end up in Alaska eating fruit and berries.
Oh, that doesn't sound like too bad of a thing. Casey'd probably go with you.
Yeah. You'd never see me again.
Yeah, it's important. The diet's important. The scientific data that's coming out on gut microbes and how they influence your
exactly. You are what you eat. Is that what you're saying?
Truly, yeah. You truly are what you eat. And then the symbiotic connection that you have with all the other little critters that are running around inside you and on you and everywhere else. Yeah. It's a weird thought, but you have bacteria and fungus and all sorts of little things all over you that live within your ecosystem of your body.
Yeah, how would you like to be a germaphobe? You'd be in the shower all the time.
No, I mean, it's impossible. You're not going to get rid of them all. You're going to scrub your large intestine of E. coli.
Yeah.
They help you. They help you in a lot of ways. I mean, it's good to wash your hands and whatnot. Make sure, just be aware of what you're touching, what you're eating, all that kind of stuff. But you gotta learn to live with it.
You're funny.
You have to.
You're funny in that sometimes I want to call you and tell you those microbes must have been very powerful today, but I haven't done that yet.
I mean, I'm feeling pretty good. The microbes are making me feel good. Okay, so about the abortion.
I don't believe in it at all.
I know where you stand there, but what are your thoughts as far as like designer babies and genetic manipulation of humanity?
It's really not natural. Not just babies, but animals and things like that. I'm pretty sure we're made perfect just the way we are. I don't. Is it possible that those things are made? Is it possible they don't have a soul? I don't know.
Are you talking animals
or humans?
I
don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, what have become of those animals they've made in the labs? What's their story?
You talking mice and the rat tests and whatnot? I don't know. Playing an important role in what could be a narcissistic and egotistical pursuit of human progress and evolution. But my basis as far as genetic manipulation is that it's a code that programs for an organism to behave, to function, to grow, to die. And as a human demigod, which is what we're becoming, we could go in and alter some of those negative type of genes, such as cancer within humans. Such as, what if your schizophrenia is genetic based?
It typically is. According to what I've studied.
So going in and what you would probably condemn as an unnatural way to save a person from schizophrenia.
That would be nice if we could do that.
Yes.
Is that at the cost of rearing up something from a petri dish that is soulless? I don't know.
So you're getting at the sense of at what cost for human progression is it too far?
Yeah, exactly.
Where do we rape Mother Nature and defile sacredness as far as life?
It doesn't matter what laws you have. Somebody's going to surpass those.
China.
Yeah.
I say China because they started using CRISPR on human embryos, and America won't do that. But
yeah,
they're not supposed to.
Yeah. Well, I hope that we can conclude this rather quickly, just by saying that you and I think I could live off the fat of the land.
Oh yeah.
No matter what happens, and then again, if the world keeps going and progresses financially, we can go forward, onward, and upward with the new digital era of life.
Absolutely.
I think we'll go either way it goes. I think we'll adjust.
Great things are on their way. Great things. And if not, I think we still need to believe that.
Oh no, it'll only get better. I remember my great grandmother told me that they used to send them home from school because and according to biblical quotes that they believed in, it was going to be the end of the world that day. And she said it never happened.
Yeah.
So not to believe that. So who's to say if there's ever going to be the end of the world? Who knows how old it is, and who knows how old it will go?
Yeah, one of the things that I've heard is the deep belief in the Armageddon and the Revelation and whatnot is a sense of not wanting to be left behind and forgotten. So that if when you die, you will be left behind and you will be forgotten at some point. We all will, you know. There's tons of graves that no one visits anymore. There's tons of graves that are unmarked, and you know they just kicked him off the covered wagon, and then there lays, you know, Giselle, and then to never be known again. And the sense of, well, God will come back before I die, and then this whole world will not keep spinning after I've left. That's where that kind of belief comes from.
Oh, I think the world will keep on spinning when I'm gone.
Absolutely. But you're a enlightened individual. You know, you've been through trials and tribulations, and you question your deep, dark subconscious, and you engage with yourself in various behaviors and questions, and not everyone does that. So an easy way to bypass all that is to go, oh, you know, God's going to come back before I die. And not this whole thing.
I would like to know what happens on the other side, but I won't know until it's time to know.
Absolutely.
Some things you're better off not to know.
Yeah.
It's like the future.
That would be interesting, be able to know the future.
Yeah. Can you imagine what you're going to be like when you're my age?
I don't know.
Which is twice your age.
Hopefully I can make it.
I doubt it. Not many people do.
I take care of myself.
I mean, if you think of yourself. But you never know what life might throw at you.
I don't know. One day at a time.
Know. We'll see.
We'll see.
Keep believing.
Keep believing.
Keep moving.
All right, you need some more coffee?
I'm good. I'm ready to say.
I was going to wrap it up for you.
Let's do that.
Absolutely. All right, man. Well, thanks for conversating with me. Interesting conversation.
Thanks, Cole.
As always, you're a fascinating guy. I look up to you. I love hearing about your stories, and I take your wisdom and your advice very seriously. In a lot of my journals, I have quotes from you. So
you do?
I do, absolutely.
That's interesting.
So know that at least...
Trust me, none of them are original. I don't think. I might have a few original, but...
know that I hang on most all of every word you say. So
that's very kind.
Yeah, I love you, man.
And I love you too. So.
I appreciate it. All right.
Thanks, brother.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming on.
Day. Bye.
All right. Everybody, thanks for listening to the podcast today. Hope you enjoyed it. Chris LaTurner, you can find him at Red Oak Bar. Go get a drink from him and listen to some good stories from back in the day. Vegas, Laughlin, Reno, Galena. It's all there. All right. Coming back with you tomorrow, Jacob Fry will be on the podcast. Remember, every Monday and Tuesday we'll be pushing out an episode, so hopefully we can keep it consistent so you can have lots of SciFi and Friends to listen to. So look forward to seeing all you people out in the real world, and tweet at me, Facebook me, Instagram me, whatever. Hit me up on the cyber web. All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. Peace.
SciFi wins.